Hi everyone, welcome to GMAT Club. Welcome to another insightful episode of GMAT Success Talks. Every day on GMAT Club, we meet incredible students who crack the GMAT and land their dream scores. What's fascinating is that each success story is unique. Some students begin by mastering concepts before they dive into the practices. Others strike a balance between theory and application, and a few take entirely unconventional routes to success. Today, we have one such story of a student who scored a jaw dropping 755 on GMAT, nearly the 100th percentile. And here's a twist: his strategy was then centered almost entirely around mock tests. That's right. He took more than 20 full length mocks over just 1.5 months of focused preparation. I'm your host, Sejal, and today we'll unpack Karan's distinct approach, his mindset, and how mock tests became his secret weapon. But before we dive into Karan's inspiring story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring such stories to you and such journeys to you. Okay, so hi Karan, welcome to our show. Could you please briefly introduce us to the audience? I think Karan, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. So thank you, Sejal. It's really nice to be here. So I'll give you a quick introduction about myself. I'm Karan. I was raised in Bhagalpur. I am an IIT BHU graduate. After that, I joined Sprinkler. I'm working as a product manager currently at Sprinkler. I've been at this company for 4 years now. I lead a team which is responsible for creating AI solutions for enterprise customer experience management. And like around 20 like November 2023, I thought that I should go for an MBA to understand more about global business problems and also sharpen my leadership skills. So I started pursuing my GMAT journey, and I'll be heading to Kellogg for my full-time MBA this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. So Karan, I'm going to start with presenting your preparation timeline. Okay. Uh, so you decided to take the GMAT in December 2023. And around this time, I think there were quite a bit of activities happening in your personal life as well. So the preparation was not very consistent, I believe. But during this time, I think you revisited all the basics with Magoosh's GMAT course, right? And then I think from July 2024 onwards, you started taking the mocks immensely and intensely. And I think you took around 18 mocks in those 2 months, yeah, before the actual attempt, right?
Yeah, plus some official mocks as well, which is not included here.
Okay, yeah, okay. So let's start by beginning. Like we'll start with your GMAT preparation with Magoosh course. Okay, so tell us what the initial process was like. What was that initial preparation phase like for you?
Yeah, so I started my preparation in December of 2023. I had a lot of like you mentioned, I had a lot of personal responsibilities as well, and work was also hectic at that time. So I couldn't do a lot, but because I didn't have a lot of spare time. But at that time, I started figuring out what this exam is about and how at that time we had two exams. We had the GMAT Classic Edition as well as the Focus Edition. So I had to decide between these two exams. So I was I just started doing all this, and I started I took some screening tests to understand where I am at that time. So I understood that Focus Edition will suit me better, and also it was the Classic was going after February, so I had to take the Focus Edition, and I wanted a course which is self-paced and which is an extended which has an extended timeline so that I can utilize it. And I knew that this will not be a very I can't be focusing entirely on GMAT right now, so I needed something which is more of a self-paced kind of a thing. And Magoosh suited me perfectly, so I took that course. I started with some videos to brush up my concepts because I didn't know a lot about the syllabus and stuff. So I did that, and then I had to take a break around January. I think I saw the basic videos which Magoosh offers, and then I took that took some time off because I had to fulfill some of my responsibilities, and then I started my preparation back from June, I think. And at that time, like you mentioned, I was more focused on mocks because I did that initial like understanding the syllabus and doing those basic concepts when during the time I started in December and January.
Okay, perfect. So it was more of research work and just brushing the
Yeah.
basics for you in the beginning. Okay, perfect. So let's come to the most fascinating aspect of your GMAT preparation, the mock tests. Let me put the slide of your mock timeline again on the screen for the viewers. Yeah. So you took 24 mocks in total, which of which 21 mocks were taken in July and um, August, and which was the last 2 months of your prep. So, what was
Yeah.
the reason behind you relying so heavily on mocks and planning, such an intensive mock schedule? Like, what was your process of taking a mock?
So I'll start with the first part. Why I did this, like why I decided on taking so many mocks and relying on the mocks for my preparation. So like I understood initially that this is like GMAT is not just a conceptual exam. I have to be strategic and I have to have that time management and that exam experience as well. So after college, I was not used to studying for long hours and solving these sums. So there was a lot of problem with focus. I couldn't concentrate and solve a lot of questions together. So what mock did for me was bring in that discipline, and I could bring up my endurance for the main exam day, and also giving so many mocks made me ready for that exam. So initially, 2 hours 15 minutes was a very long time for me. I couldn't sit for 2 hours 15 minutes and take that exam, but because I did so many mocks and like I was so ready for it, so that increased my endurance. And you can see some days I took like on the same day I've taken a couple of mocks, so I did that as well. So that was just to bring up my endurance so that I don't zone out during the actual exam. And my mock strategy was that I wanted to pace my mocks in a way like till June I was clear with the concepts and I was doing fairly well. So I wanted to like rely entirely on mock. So what I did was that if I took a mock one day, then I analyzed what I did incorrectly and also what questions I couldn't solve and what took me more time than average. I know that a lot of people analyze all the questions that mock offers and see like what they could have done differently. But I just analyzed the incorrect ones and the ones which took me a lot of time. And then after analyzing those, I really like I went back to the drawing board and I saw that which of the, like what are the concepts which I am currently failing on. Went back to GMAT Club, put those filter on, and then put the difficulty on, and then keep solving those questions for a couple of days so that I can get better in those concepts. So that was my mock planning. Like if there is a concept which I'm lacking on consecutively for 3 4 mocks, I used to do that more like at least an hour I used to give for that. So for example, I was really struggling with critical reasoning during the initial July mock. So at that time, I just went back and I did a lot of like I solved a lot of questions from the GMAT Club forum, and I also went to YouTube and watched a lot of GMAT Ninja videos, saw how he thinks about it and how like what better I can do. So this was my entire mocks strategy.
Oh, awesome. That's very smart. Um, Also, like, what was your mock routine like? Like, where would you take these mocks? When would you take these mocks? What was the interval of taking these mocks? Yeah, just just for our audience to know.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was very disciplined with this, but I tried to take those like all those mocks at the same place so that I can have that focus. And I like initially I had some time in the afternoon, so I started with that. I started taking mocks around 2 p.m. and I wanted to follow the same pattern. Like I didn't want to change my timing of those mocks, so I tried to take those mocks around the same time at the same place so that I can be serious about the exam, and also I am like I get very used to taking the exam on the same slot. And what I did was when I registered for my exam, I registered for the same slot, like around 2 p.m. So that was my strategy. I was not very disciplined sometimes because I took multiple mocks in one day, but mostly I tried to do this.
Yeah, I think that's very important for a lot of people, because after, if you're someone who's kind of doing the GMAT or who's planning your MBA after a certain work experience, I think you lose your touch with just sitting in one place and kind of trying to study and stuff. So you have to kind of get yourself back to those school days, those college days, where you have to just sit in one place and try just keeping focus. I think that's I think something that all of us will struggle with. People who are watching,
That
who are
was the
planning kind of to give GMAT.
that was
Yeah,
the biggest problem for me. Like initially when I started my prep, I couldn't sit for like 20-30 minutes and solving five
absolutely.
six questions together. I needed some break. I used to check my messages, and which was a break in my routine as well. So like I told you, that was my reason for taking mocks, because that brought in some seriousness. Because if you're like if you're just sitting idle and solving some questions, we wouldn't be that serious like we would be in a mock exam. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and I took
absolutely.
that, like
Agree.
I took all those exams at one place just because I wanted to bring that seriousness, and those mocks
Mhm.
seem very important to me.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. And also, is there a particular reason why you chose your analyzing strategy as uh, only kind of analyzing questions where you were in going like wrong in those questions, and not like in like the entire mock? Is there a specific reason why you thought that was a better option for you to do?
Uh, so in the initial few mocks, I used to do the same, like I used to follow the same pattern, that see each and every question that came in that exam. But then
Hmm.
that was not very efficient for me because like I didn't find that method very efficient. But again, this is not a one size fits all. But for me, I thought that analyzing the questions which I did incorrectly or which took me an exorbitant amount of time, that was a more smart strategy for me, and that was more efficient. So that is why I chose this strategy. And like because seeing all, like maintaining that error log and maintaining, like seeing all the analyzing all the questions was a big task, and that also used to take, like that used to take an entire day for me.
Hmm.
So just to
Yeah,
bring some efficiency, and this was suiting me better.
absolutely. Okay. Sounds really smart, to be honest to me. Okay. And looking at your mock scores, I think quant seems to always be a stronghold, right? But we can actually see that you have achieved like gradual improvement in data insights, and verbal was steady throughout. And could you also tell us like what your process was of mitigating weaknesses in all of these sections, in data insights, verbal, quants? Like, what was your entire process when you used to actually see, okay, this is where I'm going wrong? Now, then what you used to do?
Yeah, so I'll start with quant again. Quant was not uh, again. It came naturally to me. I was not doing really bad in the quant section, but I had to
Hmm.
brush up some concepts because I didn't remember everything which we studied in school. So Magoosh, the videos from Magoosh really helped me with that. I saw like that brushed up my basic knowledge, and then I went ahead with solving some questions in quant, and then solving so many questions during the mock exams also kept my practice in. I tried, like for quant, I used to, like initially only I used to filter out, like in the GMAT Club forum, I used to filter out 700 plus difficulty and only solve those questions. So uh, that was my strategy. But like in the middle of my preparation, I became a little overconfident, and you can see in my score report as well that I was doing some questions incorrectly, due to which my score went down for some of the exams. That was because I I was doing questions too, like faster than that was required, and doing some unnecessary calculation errors. So I like I again dialed back and I used the review section to the fullest in quant section. Like this was my strategy, that solve every question in one go as fast as you can, and then go back and see each and every question during the review section. If you have that time, you have to use it. Initially, what I used to do was that when I had completed my section, I used to submit it, but and don't use that spare time for the review. So like, through these mocks, I understood, because I was doing some silly mistakes, and if I would have used the review section, that would have helped me. So I use the review section heavily for quant because again because some of the concepts came very naturally to me. So I had some spare time during the quant section for the review. So that was my strategy for quant. For verbal, that like through the initial screening test only, I understood that this will be my weak section, and I have to focus a lot for like I have to up my game in verbal. So with verbal, I solved a lot of questions. I watched a lot of GMAT Ninja videos to brush up my concepts. I used to solve questions with him so that I can understand how he is doing it. And for me, he was the master. Like his videos really helped me in the quant section, and that brought like my reading speed also gradually increased. Initially, I in verbal I was not able to solve all the questions. I only solved around 18, 19 questions, and my time was over. So after solving so many questions and like bringing my reading speed up, I was able to at least complete the section. And accuracy then came like after solving so many questions, accuracy came naturally. But I wouldn't say that I have done perfectly in verbal. I know that there are a lot of things that I could have improved, but at least I was at a stage where I could comfortably read all the passages and I could understand what the question is asking, which was not the case when I initially started. So that was the improvement for me, although the marks would not reflect that because it was gradual. Like it was very steady, but I think that like watching all these videos and solving the questions through GMAT Club really helped my verbal section. And in data insights, I understood initially that this is a section where you will not be able to solve all the 23 questions. You have to increase your speed. So speed was the game for data insights. And I think for data insights, only one thing can help you, which is practice. You have to solve every type of those questions, like whether it is MSR or two-part analysis. You have to be thorough with each and every part so that nothing comes as a surprise for you during your actual exam. So after practicing so much, uh, I don't know how, because initially I didn't plan for getting like first for getting all the like first, in fact, solving all the questions in data insights. But I was able to solve all the questions during my final few mocks as well as my final exam as well. And I think I got one incorrect, but I was like I was pretty much very thorough with the data insight section as well, and I had 2-3 minutes to spare. So I think because I did so much practice, I solved every type possible using the GMAT Club forum. I was like nothing came as a surprise during the actual exam. So this was my strategy for all the three sections. Like again, mocks were very helpful for me for each and every section, and for data insights, especially, I would say that you have to solve as many questions as you can to improve your speed, and also that so that none of the questions come as a surprise for you.
Awesome. That's a really great improvement, I must say. Okay. So, you were talking about accuracy. So, I see a question from Sanket, which is that's a great score, Karan. Did you also focus on, it says untimed accuracy in
Untimed.
CR before going to mocks? If yes, what was your accuracy target?
Uh, yeah, that's correct. So I was not looking at the time when I was solving those questions in the forum. I used to analyze each and every passage and see like what can be the let's say if it is an assumption question. I used to think about every assumption that could exist. So I used to solve those questions without timing myself because I knew that I was planned on doing so many mocks that I'll have a lot of time practice. It's like through those mocks. So I used to do some like I used to do untimed practice and increase my accuracy so that I can score better during my mock. So that was my strategy. I didn't have an accuracy target in my mind. I just wanted to get at least 85-90% questions correct when I'm not timing myself initially. So that was my target. And again, I don't think that you should time yourself when you're doing initial practice, because especially for critical reasoning, you should analyze the passages to the fullest, because that will eventually help you bring your accuracy higher, and that will like you'll be able to solve questions in lesser time as well.
Yeah, sounds great. Um, Okay, before we move on to the next section, I also see a question. One second. Okay, so Sachin asks, even I'm learning from Magoosh. How close are Magoosh's questions to the ones on actual GMAT exam?
That's a very difficult question to answer. I would say they are fairly accurate. Like I wouldn't say that the 100% of the questions that you'll face are at par with the actual GMAT exam. Some of them would be unnecessarily very hard, but and some of them would be very easy. But I think that is part of the game, right? You have to solve some questions which will be tougher than your actual GMAT exam has to offer. So that was it. But I think 50-60% of the questions were very accurate to the actual GMAT level.
Awesome. Okay. So, apart from Magoosh, I think you mentioned that you also were kind of studying through GMAT Club and GMAT Ninja, right? Those were the other two important resources of your preparation. So, tell us more about how you utilized those two resources.
So GMAT Club is like the Bible of GMAT. You have to utilize that too because firstly, I didn't want to spend a lot on my GMAT prep, so I
Yeah.
utilized GMAT Club to the fullest because the forum was free and it had every question possible. So if I was getting any question in my mock incorrectly, I used to Google search it on and add GMAT Club label to it, and I used to get that question on GMAT Club. So every question was there. So that really helped me. I used to utilize forum to the fullest because if I'm getting a particular type of question incorrectly, I could filter that question and I could like solve the those types of questions which I'm getting incorrectly. I could filter based on difficulty. So all those things really helped me. I also utilize the free tests to the fullest whenever there used to be a holiday, like an Indian holiday or a US holiday. I think GMAT Club offers free focus edition tests. So I used to utilize that a lot. And like again, GMAT Ninja I utilized for verbal prep. I didn't see a lot of videos for quant and data insights. But for verbal prep, I think Charles is his name, right? He really helped me, and like I used to see how he is solving those questions. So if like for every question, whenever the video was on, I used to pause it, solve it myself, and then watch the entire video how Charles is doing it. So that really helped me out, and he didn't go for unnecessary shortcuts, which I used to find in some other YouTube videos. But and he was very thorough with the basics. Like you have to understand the basics, and you have to understand the passage. So that
Mm-hmm.
really helped me. I also utilize Experts Global like mock test. I bought the 15 mocks that they offer, and that was also like fairly like that was also a good bang for buck because I think it cost me around 3,000 and they offered me 15 mocks. So I utilized that. I think apart from it, this was it. I utilized Magoosh, GMAT Club, YouTube, and the Experts Global mocks.
Okay, so I think that already answers this question that I've just put on the screen for San from San, which says which resources have you used for mock, sectional, and full length. So you just answered that question. So we move on to the next. Okay, Ankur asks that while studying, when we start to get decent accuracy, but when we shift towards mock accuracy as well as speed goes down, did you face this? And if yes, then what did you do?
Give me a second. I'll read this again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this was a case for me as well. I think this happens because you are more stressed when you're taking your mock exams because you want to imitate the actual GMAT exam, so you are a little bit more stressed, and that leads to speed going down and accuracy coming down as well. So again, I may sound repetitive, but like that is why I did so many mocks because these things will fade out when you are like when you are taking these mocks every week. So eventually this will fade out and the pressure would come down as well, because you are so used to taking the mocks.
Awesome. Yeah. I think I totally agree. I think it's also that you kind of start, it's about building confidence, I think, over time. And that only happens when you practice a lot or you are giving mocks a lot.
Yeah,
Okay. I think we'll leave a few questions for later. Now, okay,
sure.
let's come to the main exam day, or actually, let's build the tension towards the exam day. How was the week before the exam day? Like the 3 to 5 days before the exam. What were you doing in those days? Were you kind of practicing heavily, or were you kind of trying to calm your self down? Just maybe relaxing and moderate amount of study. Like, what was your prep like in the last 1 week?
So I decided that I'll not take mocks after ninth. I had my exam on 12th August 2024. So ninth was the day when I took my last mock. That was the official mock. I got a good score. I was relaxed and I didn't want to stress myself out. I kept my routine to normal, going to the gym, doing all the things that you do on a usual day. So I did all that, and I was not practicing a lot of questions at that time. But again, I used to practice, like do some sectional test or solve some questions, so that my mind remains stimulated. So that was my strategy. I didn't want to stress myself out, but again, not uh, do not lose the touch. So for the last 3 days, this was exactly my strategy, because on ninth, I think I wrapped up my mock and I did the analysis as well on ninth night. And from 10th, I used to go for walks. I used to relax more and just take some sectional test and do some questions so that the mind remains stimulated.
Yeah, I think that was a smart choice because um, I think you shouldn't, in my opinion, I think you shouldn't stress yourself too much just before the exam because you're already going to stress yourself on the day of the exam. So I think just save yourself some
Yeah, we'll
stress.
we'll come to that. So I have a
Yeah,
story for that as well. I was so
we are actually coming to that. So, how was your exam day? Just walk us through the entire day. How was it like reaching the center, doing all the pre-exam administrative process thingies, and like before starting the exam, like how were you feeling?
so I had my exam in the afternoon. I think it was starting at 2 only. So on 12th August, exam was at 2 p.m.
Hmm.
I like I'm giving so much knowledge right now that solved so many mocks. You'll not feel that pressure during the actual exam, but I felt the pressure. I was not able to sleep the previous night, so that became a very big factor for me. I was so stressed out during that exam day. I was more stressed that I didn't sleep and I didn't get that rest rather than the actual exam, because I thought that I might zone out during the actual exam, or like I'll not be my 100%. So I think I I tried to calm myself during the exam day. I solved some questions in the morning so that again my mind remains in that zone. And
Hmm.
I drank a lot of coffee. I wouldn't recommend that because I couldn't sleep, so I drank a lot of coffee to keep myself awake. And I traveled because my center was around an hour from my place. So I started early. I reached the center around around 12:30, I think 12:30 ish, so that I have 1.5 hours. I sat in some cafe, tried to relax, listen to uh, music which relaxes me, and I also took my sister with me so that I keep talking to someone and do not stress, like take a lot of unnecessary stress.
I get
So
it.
the I think the administrative process was very simple. I thought that it'll be far more complicated. You just have to take your passport, and it was very smooth for me. And I did the usual order, which has helped me in my mock. So I started with I think we can go about it later as well. But I did the usual order, which I did in my mocks. During the first section, I was a bit zoned out during the initial 10-15 questions. I couldn't concentrate 100% on the screen. And as I started with verbal, I think that impacted my verbal section by a bit because I got some initial questions wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
luckily, I took a break after verbal, and I just got I regained my composure, and I utilized the entire 10 minutes for calming myself down again. I drank a lot, I drank a lot of water, and then I started with my data insight section.
Yeah.
And
So I was
I
about
think
to
after that, I
actually.
was 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was about to actually ask you, what was, like, why did you, what was firstly your kind of order in of giving the sections, like how did you order your sections, and then why was the reason you chose that specific order?
So my order was verbal, break, then data insights, and then quant. So
Mm-hmm.
I did all the permutation and combination in my mocks, and this was the order which was getting me the best results. So for me, I wanted to get the difficult part done initially, then take a break, and then get to the parts which I enjoy more.
Makes sense.
So that was why I chose this order. I think this is again different for everyone. Many people like to start with their easiest section so that they can get in that exam zone. But for me, I wanted to get the difficult part done initially, and I also thought that I'll be the most fresh during the first section, and then get I'll get tired. So that was again a logic, but that was not the case during my GMAT exam. I was a little uh, I was not my 100%. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was your reaction when you saw your 755 score? What was that like?
I think the first reaction was surprise. I was actually I was very surprised because my verbal section didn't go that well. I
Mhm.
realized that my data insights and quant section have gone fairly well, so I uh, I was very shocked. So shock and surprise was the first emotion, and then it was all excitement and happiness. So through
So
my
you
face
weren't
only
kind of,
the proc. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, go ahead. I was saying you were kind of not expecting it because you thought that you didn't sleep the previous night. So probably the first section was not the best. So you
Yeah.
weren't kind of expecting the score.
Yeah, I was not, but again, my first section was not that great. But
Yeah.
because I did so well in the other two sections, I was able to get the score. And like what I was saying was that through my face only the proctor could understand that I have got a good score. So he also asked, like he congratulated me first and then asked my score. So that was the case for me after the exam. I just went there, met some friends, and enjoyed
I'm
for
sure.
that week at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure all the coffee was also making you kind of jittery. So I
Yeah.
think you would be kind of very excited. I'm sure anyone with that score would be very happy. What was your sister's reaction when she got to know your score?
She was very happy. So she asked me before the exam, what is your target score? What are you trying to get? So I told her
Mhm.
that my target score was 725. I was initially when I started my prep, I wanted to get a 705, just so that I'm like an Indian male engineer has to score high was what I heard. So I wanted a 705, but then I saw a lot of engineers getting that score. So I wanted to just get a 725 and be in the safe zone at least. So
Mm.
then after seeing that 755, and when I told my sister, she was like very, very happy. We called everyone up in the family. Everyone was happy. So, but I think they were less surprised than me. They they expected me to get somewhere around this, somewhere around this score only. I was more surprised.
That's so sweet. Uh, okay, that was quite the story, to be honest. That
But
was
I think I
very
missed.
insightful. Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
I
go
was
on.
saying I missed one thing about my quant section. So, like I told you during the start, so I'll call that back so that I use the review section to the fullest. So, during my quant section, again, I followed that strategy that I solved all those questions as quick as I could. and then went ahead in the review section of solving all those questions again. So I had done a calculation mistake, and I was able to review that, and like that saved my quant score, because in quant, if you get one question wrong, your percentile comes down. So the
Hmm.
review section also helped me. So I think the focus edition review section has to like should be used by everyone to like boost their score. Many people say that you should not use the review because we don't know how GMAT is utilizing that data. But I think if like getting your question correct rather than incorrect is a better deal than not using the review section at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great insight.
Hmm.
All right. So, let's take a few questions. Yeah. Okay. So there's a question by Shubham, and he asks, "Are GMAT Club sectional tests helpful in preparation?"
Yes, so they are very helpful. So I think for me, I took a lot of verbal sectional tests from GMAT Club. So I will say that they are helpful. You should take more tests in the section that you are weak at, so that you can improve that when you are taking your actual mock exam. So for me, they are really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay, let me scan through the questions. Okay, so the next question is by Sanket again, and he asks, "Did you follow any particular course or strategy to solve MSR questions?" That's a really big elephant to eat for a lot of us.
Yeah. So MSR, because the focus edition was so new, we didn't have a lot of questions actually. We didn't. There were not a lot of resources available at that time. So I think I solved every question available on GMAT Club at that time for MSR. So that really helped me. But I can't I can't remember any good resource for MSR actually. I think solving all the questions on GMAT Club was the only option for me. I don't know about now because I took the test last year. I think a lot more resources are and a lot more data is available now. So I think there would be some good resources, but at that time I did the questions which were available in Magoosh and GMAT Club,
Awesome.
and I think there were
Okay.
some official questions released, so I used that as well for MSR.
Awesome. I think I hope that was helpful, Sanket. The next question is how to approach QR questions.
Okay,
QR questions. Yeah,
QR is quantitative reasoning.
I believe yes, that's what they mean.
Okay, so Q. Can you tell me like QR is that the data sufficiency question or something else?
The
I'm
quantitative
like
reasoning
I have.
he means quantitative reasoning. Yes, he means.
So for quantitative reasoning, I think you should read the question fairly well. You should at least read it twice so that you have not missed anything, and
Mm-hmm.
then treat it like any other quant question. Just go about solving it, and I think the most important aspect is reading the question properly, because we miss sometimes we miss a word, and like we miss a word here and there, and that causes us to get that question incorrect, because they like the questions are created very smartly that you if you miss something, there will be that incorrect option available as well. So I think reading the question properly would be one thing that I would suggest for QR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I think those are all the questions. Let me just quickly scan through if there I've left any. I think this might be an interesting question. How many correct answers per section, I mean, section wise, is required for a score of 750 to 760? So if you're, so I think you got 755, so you'd be able to tell roughly how many correct questions per section are needed.
Okay, so I think for verbal and quant, every incorrect question is penalized a lot more than data insights, because in data insights, uh, the mass population are getting more questions wrong. So for data insights, you can try to get around 60, like I think 16 correct is a very good score for data insights. And for quant and verbal, again, it is not something that everyone will be able to relate. But for quant, if you get even one question wrong, they penalize you a lot more for quant and verbal both. So you should try to get at least uh, at least 90% of the questions correct for getting a score of around 745 to 765, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah, I think those are all the questions that I can see. Yeah. Awesome. So just give me a minute. Yeah. So that was quite an inspiring story, Karan. I think all of our viewers got to know a lot about mocks, a lot about the strategies around mocks, and it was I hope it was very insightful. It was very insightful for me, and I hope it was as insightful for our audience as well. Um, I think we've just got one last question, just like right this second.
Sure.
We've got. Okay, so this question asks, for practice, did you also use non-official questions from for DI from GMAT Club? Which filters did you use in GMAT Club for practice?
Okay. So for DI, like for data insights, I had to use some non-official questions as well, because there were not a lot of official questions available for practice at that time. But the quality of those questions were not that good all the time. So I like I, for like I had to do it because there were not a lot of questions available. But if now there are some more questions available from official sources, I think you should use that before going for non-official questions. If you are done with all the official questions which are available on GMAT Club, then you can go with non-official ones. Filter, I think, is I used to put a filter for difficulty, and I used to put a filter of the type of question that I want to solve. So and that was in tandem with what I have done in my mocks and what I'm doing in my exams. So
Mhm.
if I'm getting a question wrong for a particular kind, I would put that filter and put the same difficulty of which I have gotten that question wrong.
Awesome. Uh, okay, so I'm getting a lot of questions now, suddenly. Okay, there's this one question that asks, what should be the strategy in the last 4 to 5 weeks?
I think if you have 4 to 5 weeks left, you should firstly analyze what is your current state and where you want to reach. If you are very near to your target score, I would say that you should keep at it, and you should keep solving more and more questions. Take at least don't take I would not suggest everyone to do as many mocks that I did. It suited me, but it may not suit everyone. But keep solving questions, and if you are at a place which is far from your target score, then you have to see where you are lacking right now. If there is a particular kind of question or a particular section that you are lacking at, you should go at the you should use the GMAT Club forum to solve those particular kind of questions, and also take a lot of sectional tests if you are weak at some section. So try to firstly you have to gauge yourself where you are at, and then you have to go accordingly. You can't blindly just solve questions and just keep solving 50 100 questions every day and think that that will lead to some improvement. So just gauge where you are at and go accordingly.
Yeah. Okay, the last question before we end this is just wondering, how many questions did you miss to score 89 on DI?
I missed one. That was a verbal based data sufficiency question. I still remember it. So I think it was a very it was a difficult question. That is why I was able to get 100 percentile in DI. But again, I did one wrong.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. We are getting more questions. So if you really have time, I think we can take maybe one or two more if you're fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Uh, yeah. Okay. So there's a question that says, how do you track and improve from your errors? Say that the RC, MSR, and TPA questions. I think we have
I think I
extensively
have
covered
answered.
this. Yes, a lot, but just maybe
I'll
a
give you in
few
short.
tips. Yeah.
So I used to analyze what I have done incorrectly. So the
Hmm.
errors, I used to see what is the type of question that I got wrong, why see the correct answer of it. I used to Google search that question and add GMAT Club label to it, and I used to find that question on GMAT Club and see how others are solving it, and then go at and solve a lot of questions for like which are close to that question. So again, use GMAT Club forum and put the relevant filters and solve more questions of that type.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So, the next question says, I'm using GMAT for preparation. It is quite good. How to tackle verbal? Any YouTube suggestions that you have?
I think EGMAT, I've heard this that EGMAT is really good for verbal. So I think you should go and watch all the videos that they provide. And other than that, GMAT Ninja, like I mentioned, is a really good resource for verbal. So for YouTube, I would only suggest GMAT Ninja. That has helped me. And I've heard that eGMAT is really good for verbal as well. So you should watch all the videos that they provide.
Mm-hmm. All right. Um, I think the last question, maybe now again, last I'm saying, but let's see. How many topics can we skip on quants?
That is very personal. What is your
Hmm.
target score? That depends on that. If you want to score full marks, you can't leave anything. If your target score is around, let's say if you can afford to get three four questions wrong, then I would say you can skip one or two, like one section, like one topic. But you can't skip a topic like arithmetic or something which is covered extensively in the exam. So you
Extensively.
have to see that,
Yeah.
yeah, that what
Hmm.
topic is being covered, and then take a call accordingly. But I would suggest not skipping anything, rather than just see like covering the basics of everything, and then if you feel that you're not good at a particular topic, just try to get better at it, and if you're not eventually able to, then you can maybe skip that topic, but at least cover the basics of everything for fun.
Absolutely. I agree with you. All right, awesome. Thank you, Karan, for being so patient and answering all of these last minute questions. And thank you for such an insightful session. I hope this session is inspiring to all of our viewers. And I hope this was a good chat for you, as it was for me. Yeah.
It was great. It was great interacting with the community as well as you, and I
Yeah.
hope I was able to help at least some people there. And if you have any more questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and if whenever I'll have the time, I'll make sure to answer them. And
Awesome.
I think all the best to everyone who's preparing right now.
Yes, all the best to all of you guys who are actually preparing for the GMAT, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and we'll keep coming with you to you with more such stories and more such inspiring journeys. Yeah, thank you for joining us,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye bye. Thank you for the live. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Karan.
Thank you.